Coach Watkins, thank you for your time. Once again, it's a Victory Monday. Great time to be an Olympian, and congratulations on the win this weekend against Cerritos.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, let's go right into this game. Statistically, we were beat in almost every single facet besides, of course, the scoreboard. They had more total offense. They had more first downs. They had more offensive plays. They had more time of possession. Tell us, how are we able to pull this off?
So, it just speaks to our resilience as a team this week. I challenged the boys to play longer, play harder, play faster than Cerritos. I thought the boys rose to the occasion. We did enough things right to have an opportunity at the end, and we capitalized on the extra opportunity that we got there late in the fourth quarter. One of the things that I think is most impressive about this group is that they didn't quit. A lot of people thought, during that game that, when we went for it on fourth down deep in our own territory and did not convert, a lot of people thought that was the end of the game. And we challenged them for the last 2 minutes to keep fighting it, and they did. Came up with a huge defensive stand, blocked the field goal with about, a minute and 50 seconds left, roughly, and then challenged the offense to go down there and make it happen. And so it was really nice to see, the defense bounce back from two tough games versus El Camino and Riverside. And then the offense, although we struggled the majority of the game, they rose to the occasion when it was needed most and made the plays needed to get the victory.
It's funny you mentioned that, because that's the thing we talked about prior to this game is, we had talked about the last two losses that we've had, the team not bouncing back from adversity. And you made it to a point in our last interview, the last time we talked, was, we're good when we're ahead, but when there's adversity that comes by, how do we get out of that? As you know, football is a game of momentum, and, when you're down, you got to learn how to get back up. What you guys are preaching is definitely starting to show. Now, I want to bring out a player, Sammy Muniz. Tell me about his play this weekend. 7 solo tackles. He seemed like he was all over the place.
Yeah, Sammy's a young man who absolutely loves the game of football. He loves to get out there and run around and hit, and he does a great job of bringing great energy to our players in our locker room pregame and keeping the sidelines positive. And he was running around in a tight game, making plays and making bone-jarring hits, and had a late PBU. No, actually had 2 late PBUs. One that could have been the go-ahead touchdown for them late in the fourth quarter. And so as a sophomore who's been in our program now for his third year, he gray-shirted in 2017. He totally understands what the Olympian way is about, and so he goes out there and plays as hard as he can for as long as he can, and it's a good example for the younger guys underneath him.
Another player that, we have to talk about again, and, we seem to be talking about him every single week, and now getting the starting nod is quarterback Asante. Prior to the fourth quarter, he only had 89 yards at that point, and then here comes the last drive going 4 for 4. I believe it was 87 yards for the touchdown, and where he connected with Taj Broomfield. Tell me about his, him maturing right in front of our eyes, and his work with Coach Reyes as well.
Yeah, I believe that our offense is it's very quarterback heavy. We depend on the quarterback to take in a lot of information early in the week and be able to process a lot of things very quickly before he snaps the ball. And then have to process that same information after the ball is snapped, and so playing quarterback in college football is a lot different than playing it in high school. It's more about knowledge of the scheme and execution of the scheme, and every single week we're seeing us have to get better at that. He's been battling a couple of injuries here late, but the kid is tough and he stays in there and delivers the ball where it needs to go, and we're looking forward to Asante just continuing his progress through the rest of the season. Coach Reyes has done an amazing job of getting him caught up and getting him dialed in schematically with the game plan every week. And so although he started off slow this past week, and credit to Cerritos, they're a very tough defense, but although he started off slow, again, he didn't tap out. It would have been easy to say, hey, I'm having a bad game, we're not going to win this one, but he came back and he battled and he fought and kept chopping wood and went 4 for 4 for 87 yards and a touchdown to win the game. And so, there's an adage in the coaching world: there's no such thing as a bad loss. No such thing as a bad win. And so there's obviously things we can improve on, but we'll take that victory every single week if possible.
Absolutely. I mean, a win is a win at any level. I mean, we don't have to look very far. If we take a look at the former San Diego Chargers, who now call themselves LA Chargers yesterday, who was beating around all over the place until the last second field goal. And again, a win is a win. Now let's go to your running backs and the massive improvement that we've had this season. Last season we barely had a 100-yard rusher, and here I think this is one of our most impressive outfoot rushing with 152 yards against Cerritos. Tell me about our running back by committee and also the work that Coach Jordan has provided for this team.
Our running back showed up Saturday night, that's for sure. Obviously, credit to the offensive line for opening up those holes, but Andrew Wimmer and Rance Garner did an amazing job running the ball against a very physical defense Saturday night, and Rance had an explosive touchdown. I'm not quite sure the yardage on that, but it was a long run, probably one of the longest runs we've had here in 2 years.
I think it was 63 yards.
Yeah,
we
haven't seen a run that long since Logan Vallow was here back in 2017. And so it was really nice to see the running back get going, in open field with no safety left and just run the daylight. And Andrew's been a consistent hammer for us all season. He did a really, really good job this week of catching the ball out of the backfield. He had a couple explosive catches out of the backfield with some of our early motion stuff. And so, it was really nice to see those two step up in a really big game. Obviously the conference games have a different feel to them. And so rising to the occasion in those types of games are very important.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been impressive to see how much improvement this running back committee or this system has gotten. Because I remember last season, just after every game, I mean, we were getting probably less than 2 yards average, if I recall correctly. But just the improvement has been absolutely amazing. Now let's go towards the last 2 minutes of this game. In which it looked iffy if we were going to be able to pull this off. But can you tell us a little bit about the moments, what you remember the most, as far as on the sideline seeing Cerritos having the ball with the opportunity to run the clock down, and they ran a couple plays that some people might question, and that's fine. But then once we blocked that field goal and having the opportunity to win this game, what was the thinking of the coaching staff when we were, lack of a better word, presented this opportunity?
Yeah, so, you're always trying to get another chance with the ball, and so after we went for it on fourth down and didn't get it, they obviously were in a position to, get one first down and seal the game. And different coaches have different strategies in those moments. Some go for the kill and try to make it a two-possession game. Others just run the ball and, kick the field goal, make it 8. But nevertheless, our defense held up and tackle for no gain on first down, incomplete pass on second down, tackle for a small gain on third down, and then they rose big time and blocked the field goal. That was huge. That field goal block was huge. And so, as I'm gathering the offense on the sideline now, getting ready to take over the the play calling because we're on offense, I just hear it in my head. It's in my head. It's not over the microphone, but in my head I hear Coach Bridges, on Thursday, telling me, "Okay, Coach Watkins, here we go. You got to go, 56 yards. You have one timeout. You need a field goal. You got to go 80 yards. You have no timeouts. You need a touchdown." And so we practice that situation every single week.
Sure.
We practice it, and Coach Bridges is the one who sets the scenario for us, and it varies every week, yard line to go, what is needed, and how many timeouts you have. And so it was a situation that we were extremely comfortable in. And I remember hearing Coach Bridges tell me, "Hey, you got," in my head, now he didn't say it to me, but in my head I hear Bridges going, "Hey, you got 87 yards to go, no timeouts, you need a touchdown." I'm like, okay, we've done this before, let's do it. And so as we're moving the ball down the field, it was kind of, it was weird. Like I didn't really hear much. I know the crowd was loud and excited, but when you're in a tense moment like that, you're not really paying attention to the outside elements there. And so I thought our boys and our coaches executed that 2-minute drill exactly the way we practice it every week. So it's always nice to have that drive come to completion at the end with a touchdown and give your team a chance to win at the end. And it was a super exciting game, super exciting finish to the game. And obviously I'm grateful that we came out on the right side of it.
Absolutely. I think once the block happened and we had the ball, the possession of the ball, the momentum had clearly shifted on our side, and the players were pumped, the coaching staff was pumped, and it was just, you can feel it around the stadium. On our side saying, all right, let's go. On the other side, you can kind of feel, who was coming down their way. After the game, you got a little emotional talking to the players.
Yeah.
The last time San Diego Mesa beat Cerritos was all the way back in 1989 by a score of 22-19. So it's been a while since we've beaten them. But coming back from a game like this, and really looking at all the write-ups or history of the teams, there was no reason why we should beat this team.
Yeah.
Especially considering the 2 bad losses that we've had prior to this game. So tell me a little bit about those emotions after the game and what it meant to you.
Yeah, I mean, when you win a game like that in dramatic fashion, in a game in which, I know ESPN sometimes has the win probability on their box score. I mean, I imagine our win probability had to be like 7-8% at that point in the game, and so with our boys, not quitting, doing what they're asked to do as far as competing longer and harder than Cerritos did that night, and watching them celebrate and be excited about accomplishing their goal. It was overwhelming. Like I shed some tears, because as a head football coach, you want them to understand that the fight isn't over until it's actually over. Every coach wants their team to battle long and hard and compete to the end regardless of the score. And I challenged them at Saturday afternoon before we went down to the game to you guys. I told the boys, you guys don't worry about the score. That's my job. My job is to worry about the score and manage the game. Your guys' job is to play every single snap, independently of the one before or the one after. And I felt like they did that. And so when you get down there to that end zone and they're bubbling over with joy and they're super excited, and I couldn't be more proud as a head coach. The emotions got the best of me, and those my allergies started acting up.
Well, it's such an exciting game, and a game that means so much for the program. That's definitely one of those things. You're allowed to be emotional, Coach. That's what makes this game beautiful. We have Fullerton College coming up next, Saturday, November 2nd. This is our last home game of the year. Fullerton is currently 3-4. They recently defeated Palomar College last week. Tell me a little bit what we know at this point about Fullerton. I do know that they score a bunch of points.
Yeah.
They beat Palomar College 55-42. The week prior to that, they lost in overtime against Ventura College 48-47. And then they lost to Cerritos 45-42.
Yeah.
So, the score is there. Traditionally, Fullerton has been a very, very strong program. And, this can be one of those games that their record doesn't necessarily speak of who they are.
Yeah.
What do we know about them, and what's going to be our plan of attack?
Fullerton is they have to be the best 3-4 team in the country. They are big, strong, fast, physical. They're well coached. Coach Campbell does an amazing job with that program. It's going to be a hard-fought battle. Again, similar to last week. All of our conference games are going to be tough. They're going to be physical. The plan for us is to just get better every day this week in practice as we prepare for them, and obviously not beat ourselves. I remember playing them last season. Fullerton is one of the absolute best teams I've ever witnessed at capitalizing on an opponent's mistakes. Last year I think we threw two interceptions, 2 pick sixes, gave up a field goal block for a touchdown. It's like every time you turn the ball over, they score. And so we have to be diligent in our preparation to make sure that we're not assisting them in scoring any of those 44 points.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so I truly believe that our defense is, coming into its groove, and I'm super excited at the opportunity to go out and play them Saturday evening at Mount Olympus.
All right, well, Coach, once again, congratulations on a great victory. One more home game. Let's get all the guys out there, come out and cheer for the guys, and let's go get them.
Let's do it. See you there.